Good afternoon. You're listening to the Focal Point Show on Tan Talk 1340. I am your host, Gil Pinney. I am your Focal Point business coach. This is the radio show to take your business to the next level. So if you run a business, large or small, get ready to take lots of notes. We are going to provide you with a solid hour of business insights and strategies for success. This is a unique, one-of-a-kind radio program for all of Tampa Bay and the state of Florida. The question for you for this week is, do you know where your business is? This is not a physical location, but where is your business regarding your goals? Today we will review the diamond mapping system and how to reassess and plan forward into 2016. The first segment will conclude the safety discussion that we began last week, and our final topic will be around the legal issues surrounding those safety things we're talking about. So please keep listening. I'm going to inject here that I had the pleasure of seeing a wonderful lady named Jill O'Connell. She's from Paradise Air in Largo. Jill and her husband, Tim, received the Small Business of the Year Award for the Central Pinellas Chamber. Well, Jill told me she is a listener and enjoys the program. So thank you, Jill, and those in the Largo area. You can contact them at Paradise Air for whatever air conditioning needs you may have. And I welcome all business leaders. We want you to be part of the broadcast to get your questions answered by a professional. This radio show is here to provide reminders and challenges to your conventional wisdom. We're glad you're listening, but we would like to get your thoughts and questions. So if your business is not giving you everything that you deserve, please give us a call or send us an email. To call 727-441-3000 or send me an email at gilpinney@yahoo.com. That's GILPINNEY @yahoo.com. The best way for you to gain clarity is to participate and get your questions answered, and we thrive on that participation. Okay, today we'll talk again our sports analogy of the week, our sports coaching talk, and that's the Buccaneers football team. They lost horribly yesterday. They took all the benefit from the week before, beating the Falcons, and they had a few players missing, a couple hurt, and their lack of maturity showed up big time. I believe the coaches did a good job coaching them, but the immaturity of the team and the youth really came out, and you can't coach maturity. Jameis kind of slid backwards a little yesterday, missed some throws, but then he also didn't get helped out when some throws were dropped. So it was it's one of those things for a coach when you have a client or a team that just doesn't have, they didn't really play a good game yesterday in any phase, any aspect. They were there. They had a packed crowd, and it's like going up for your first time at bat, and the stands are full, and you strike out. And that's really what they did. So it'll be interesting to see how the remainder of the season goes, but now that they're out of any running, and the downside of that, though, is the Panthers are still undefeated. So from a coaching standpoint, I think the coaches did a good job. I think the players let their coaches down. And I'm sure there's going to be good talks this week individually with the coaches, because that's what you do is you reassess. And that's one of the reasons our topic today is diamond mapping, because I'm sure in the professional sports arena they do something very similar, where they have their four critical parts that they want to measure. They measure them, and if they fell down, how do we get back to where we need to be? So as you know, every week we talk a little bit sports. We just finished that. Every professional athlete has at least one coach. Why? To continually improve their performance and their competitiveness. A coach provides insight and advice to identify strengths and opportunities for improvement. The cool thing is a coach does not play for the player. No can do. Well, the same is true when you get a business coach. The business coach does not play for you. He doesn't take your place. He doesn't make the decisions for you. He helps you see and get those insights and gives you advice on how to get better. That's what a business coach does, particularly your focal point business coach, who's me. Together, we'll set those achievable goals, and we'll teach you how to track your progress and motivate you to make the very best of your business. I provide a money-back guarantee. Your investment is low, and the gain is high. So for that free 1-hour consultation, please call 727-537-9680. Or again, you may send me an email to gilpinney@yahoo.com. You'll feel more control of your life and much more control of your business as you build that legacy. I have something I'm going to talk briefly about today, and that's, would you like to put your business ahead of your competition? Does your social media program need a little bit of a boost? Well, please consider joining me on this radio program. We normally do a 40-minute interview to highlight you and your business. The cost is less than sending out 750 pieces of direct mail. So it's very inexpensive. And what do you get in return other than the pleasure of our company here? And you get to meet Chris. What more could you ask for a low price? You'll receive a podcast and a YouTube video link. What good are those, you may ask? Well, you can post these on your Facebook page, your website, or any of the other social media outlets that you desire, and you instantly gain credibility with your clients because, first of all, you're on the radio, you're talking with an authority, and the authority is asking you because you're an authority in your business. So you'll set yourself aside from your competition. It's really a fun thing to do. That's the other reason I'm asking people to join us is it's a lot of fun. We get to know each other, get a little coaching involved, and it is a great deal of fun. So please call, and that number again, my cell phone is 727-537-9680. Send me that email, gilpinney@yahoo.com. So we'll move on and get some of this final parts of the safety discussion done that we began last week. What should you look for regarding safety when you're doing your weekly walkthrough? Check the decorations, make sure they're up safely, there are not no problems with cords, eliminate those trip hazards, make sure there's no line of sight hazards. And the other thing is distractions. Make sure the music's not too loud, it's not too melancholy. How do you notice if your staff is distracted? If they're leaving right on time for people who normally don't, if they're coming in late for meetings, late in the morning, you're probably going to have a good idea that they're a little bit distracted due to the efforts that they have to put forth to make the holiday season happen. So the other thing you want to tell your employees about, or those that you work with, is watching out for the other guy when it comes to going and driving around our fair city, is if the driver is talking excitedly with a passenger, talking on their smartphone, looking down at their smartphone, texting, or looking quickly to change lanes. We'll finish this off when we come back from break. We'll see you soon.
I just want to feel something today. Open me up and you will see.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Arg, matey. When it's time for lunch, when it's time for dinner, when the show's over, when the day's over, when it's time to chill, where do we go? Over to Naughty Nancy's Food Shack and Crow's Nest Pub. It's literally in our backyard, right in back of the WTAN studios at 700 Eldridge Street, just north of downtown Clearwater. Just look for the broadcast tower. Nancy's food and atmosphere get rave reviews. The laid-back patio is a great place to hang out, dine, and listen to live music at night. And Nancy's one of the friendliest proprietors in town. And now, Nancy is serving Sunday Jazz Brunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Brunch served with Eggs Benedict, crepes, waffles, lox and bagels, shrimp, oysters, and a build-your-own omelet. That's all at Naughty Nancy's Food Shack and Crow's Nest Pub, 700 Eldridge Street in Clearwater. That's right where Eldridge crosses the Pinellas Trail between Myrtle and Fort Harrison. Call 446-3717. 446-3717. You're listening to the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Coming up Tuesday on the Rocket Sports and Entertainment Network show, the New York Giants battle the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. They'll look to keep pace with the Eagles and Redskins atop the NFC East. The Tampa Bay Lightning, they're shorthanded, battling injuries up in Columbus. We'll see how they fared against the Blue Jackets. Plus, we'll have Tampa Tribune's Roy Cummings on to discuss the future of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and whether or not they can in fact make the playoffs this season. All that and more, afternoons 2 to 4, right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Let's Go Bowling, heard on the Tan Talk Radio Network every Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 12 Eastern Time. Sponsored by 12 Strike and Innovative Ball Spinner. If you bowl, if you haven't bowled in a while, or if you never bowled, why don't you be one of 65 million people have bowled last year? Listen to the Tip of the Week, Bowling Stars, old and new. Let's Go Bowling Show, gobowlingshow.com.
Did you know there's a sprawling botanical paradise right in your own backyard? Come visit Sunken Gardens. Located at 1825 4th Street North, it's St. Petersburg's oldest living museum. This 100-year-old garden is home to some of the oldest tropical plants in the region. Unwind as you stroll through meandering paths, lush with exotic plants from around the world. Explore cascading waterfalls, beautiful demonstration gardens, and more than 50,000 tropical plants and flowers. Sunken Gardens provides garden tours, horticultural programs, special events, field trips, weddings, private or corporate rentals, and much more. Call 727-551-3102 for more information. That's 727-551-3102. Sunken Gardens, 1825 4th Street North, right in the heart of Old Northeast St. Petersburg. Call 727-551-3102.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to all the business leaders who want to make a positive change in their approach to their business. I also welcome those who will be business leaders in the future. You will have a head start and recognize when to ask for help. We do this show to build our community's economic engine, and that's the small business. You're part of the Focal Point radio show on Tan Talk 1340. I'm Gil Pinney, your Focal Point business coach. If you have any questions or comments for us today, please give us a call at 727-441-3000 or send me an email at gilpinney@yahoo.com. Over the break, we did get an email from our friend Linda. She asked, most of your safety tips from last week and this sound like reasons to become more politically correct and take Christmas away. Why do we have to change? Well, that's a great question. But in reality, anytime there's a celebration, these are the safety things you really should be thinking about, whether it's a birthday, a retirement party, at graduation time, when people get distracted when their kids are getting, making that major step from high school into either college or into the working world. Their minds get distracted. So many of the topics that we talked about are not only good for this holiday season, and I'm saying holiday season because it doesn't matter which holiday we're talking about, any major event that can cause an individual or group distraction, coming up to a retirement. Somebody may be distracted, worried about what's going to happen with their family life after they retire. What if they have a birthday coming up? Who's going to do what? How are we going to plan that party? Set all these rules in place so that you have them when it's time for any celebration, not just this holiday season. The holiday season is just a time when lots of people are doing very similar things, and so it's a great time to talk about them. Well, safety is a team sport. It really, truly is, and everybody should look out for their neighbor. If you do that and somebody either forgets, does something that could be harmful to them or others, if you pitch in and help them or tell them, hey, if you do X, Y, Z, then something bad's going to happen. If you put the tree above your cubicle to where people can't see down the aisle, that's a problem. Please fix it. And so everybody's job is to help each other out and be part of that safety team because it is a team sport. Okay, holiday party season is about finished, but we're going to talk just a little briefly about a few things you want to make sure you do. Regardless, again, it doesn't have to be during this season. It could be for a retirement party. It could be for large birthday parties, whatever. But always make sure you look at these safety issues. First of all, are the fire extinguishers for a large room, are they working and clear? Are the exits clear? Should you designate an HR supervisor to make sure there's no disagreements that can escalate? And what do you do if an employee decides to become non-compliant, meaning they have too much to drink, they become verbally abusive? What do you do? Have that planned out well in advance of the party. And another point for the owner of the business or the sponsor of the business is not to sponsor or encourage any after party, because that kind of moves your liability. And we'll talk legal liabilities here in a minute. So if it's off-site and alcohol is served, what else should you think about, look at? Well, ensure that everyone knows what the standards of conduct are. Use drink tickets and hire a bartender. It's minor expense when you look at the other alternatives, and you reduce the ability of people to have too much to drink. Establish someone to contact a ride service for anyone who may have had too much to drink, borrowed drink tickets, whatever, but make sure you get them a ride home. Okay? Those are fairly simple and straightforward. Most everyone knows those. And the last but not least is to always have a definite end time for the party so that everyone knows what it's time to leave. Now, looking at the legal side, not that I am all that much of an attorney, which I am not at all, so don't take this as any legal advice, but the holiday is not a time, particularly at the parties, to where inappropriate behavior is accepted or condoned by the employer. So that becomes a little bit sticky, because employers have been found to be liable for an employee's inappropriate conduct or statements that occur at a work-related event. This includes both planned and unplanned events. So there's pretty broad legal precedent for this. And of course, that means any harassment, sexual harassment, discrimination committed in the course of the employment. And of course, since this is a work function, the holiday party is in the course of employment. So when you are managing this particular party, Christmas parties are in a danger zone, particularly when you have a lot of employees and or their spouses. How do you control them? And that becomes a very sticky situation from time to time. So you got to pay attention to that, particularly when we look back at the issue that happened out in San Bernardino, where the people, the terrorists attacked. The first thing out of people's minds was that they were bullied or harassed, and that's why they did what they did. Had nothing to do with the case, but whatever legal advice that they had gotten, that's what the first conclusion was. So as a business owner, you need to make sure you minimize those steps. And what are those steps? Well, they have to be, quote, reasonable. And possible reasonable steps are ensuring that employees are made aware that the Christmas party is a work event and that they're responsible and respectful behavior is required by everybody. Pretty straightforward. Advising employees that unplanned and spontaneous functions or events may also be work-related, and that workplace policies and rules apply. So this is a lot of communication that has to go out prior to these parties. Ensuring that everyone in the workplace is aware of all the relevant workplace policies and knows these policies. Yeah, kind of a repeat of the other one, but make sure everyone gets an email prior to the event to remind them of what their responsibilities are at the party, what the code of conduct is, and that there are workplace policies for safety, health, anti-discrimination, sexual harassment, and social media. Ensure all the workplace policies are up to date. Again, that's another major legal issue. If something happened, if you developed it 4 years ago and it's no longer applicable, you could be caught in a loophole. Provide training where required to enable employees to adhere to those standards. And going through, review your applicable employer insurance policies to see if the proposed functions are covered. And this is important for the sexual harassment side, along with the discrimination side and the bullying side. So with that, those are the legal issues that we have to worry about when we're talking about holiday parties and how much fun they can be, but everyone's got to know what their role is and that it is a workplace function and they should act the same way as they do when they're at work. A little bit more loose, but the code of conduct still stays the same. We'll now move on to what our main topic is of the day, and that's diamond mapping. If you remember, back in April, we talked about this particular subject, so if you'd like to go back to your podcast, you can see how well we covered it then, and we'll cover it again now, because this time of year is a perfect time, if you did do it in April, to look back what you had put down on your 4 quadrants, what numbers you put down. Did you make progress in those 4 quadrants? Did you stay the same in 1, improve in 3, or vice versa? So what is diamond mapping? When you do it the first time, it provides you a starting point or baseline for all your future activities. Remember, it has 4 quadrants. So get a piece of paper. We'll draw those 4 quadrants. Make a big plus sign in the center of your paper. Put 10 hash marks on each of the stems after the intersection. So you'll have in the center, you'll have one stem going up, and that will have 10 lines on it. One going to your right, that will have 10 lines. One going down, 10, and one going to the left with the last 10. At the top of the first stem, write the word financial independence. Financial independence is a little bit self-defined, meaning how close are you to having enough money to live the way you want to live for the rest of your life. And this is good whether you're 35 or 75. How close are you to that ultimate goal? If you're 35, is it having enough money to buy a large yacht to sail around the world, earn enough money to party and go around? Not that you'd party, but have that particular ability to make that happen. So that's where you want your financial independence. And if you're 75, it may just have enough money in the bank to comfortably live, play golf every day, and do what you need to do. So when we get back from our break, we'll finish off what our diamond map looks like and what we're going to do with it.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Are you looking for a job? Join me, Gene Hodge, on the Employment Opportunity Hour, Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m., where I will tell you and share with you, as well as answer all of your questions and help you find enjoyable employment instead of a job. This is the only talk show that talks about everyone who makes up our workforce. Join me on the Employment Opportunity Hour every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. on the Employment Opportunity Hour.
Are you tired of slanted mainstream media? Are you sick of hearing the same old stories on every news station? Are you bored out of your mind? Then join me, Lori Zook, on The World of Lori Zook every Thursday night at 11 p.m. on the Tan Talk Radio Network. Smart, sexy, and savvy, I discuss real topics you will find interesting, from dating to animal abuse to music, the law, and more. Real topics with real people that will make you think. That's Thursday night at 11 p.m. on the Tan Talk Radio Network. You're never alone with me.
Some people don't believe in mermaids. Hope that's not you, because they exist at Weeki Wachee Springs State Park off US 19 and State Road 50, just north of Spring Hill. Since 1947, the magic of the mermaids have been entertaining visitors at the 538-acre Springs Park. Come and watch in the 400-seat submerged theater, the Little Mermaid Show at 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. daily. Weeki Wachee State Park offers mermaid shows, reptile shows, boat tours, and swimming in the pristine spring at Buccaneer Bay. Weeki Wachee State Park is a perfect backdrop for wedding receptions, birthday parties, picnics, meetings, retreats, family reunions, or just to relax on the white sandy beach. Step back in time when things were much simpler and enjoyable. Spend a day at an original theme park. Call 352-592-5656 or log on to wikiwachee.com for upcoming events, hours, and ticket pricing. Weeki Wachee Springs State Park, where mermaids do exist.
Hi, this is John Austin, host of the Tan Talk Radio Network's book club, inviting you to join us every Tuesday at noon to hear talented new national and international authors discuss their books. The program features both fiction and nonfiction titles and is sure to add terrific new books for your must-read list. If you love books, be sure to listen every Tuesday at noon for the book club right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to all business leaders who want to make a positive change. I also welcome those who will be business leaders in the near future. You all will have a good head start and recognize when to ask for help. We do this show to build our community's economic engine. That's you, small business. You're part of the Focal Point Radio Show on Tan Talk 1340, and I am Gil Pinney, your Focal Point business coach. If you have any questions or comments for us today, please call or send an email. The call-in number is 727-441-3000, and my email is gilpinney@yahoo.com. Well, thank you, David. David sent in an email here, and his question, pretty short and sweet, but are holiday parties a good idea considering the risk? Well, my response to that is, yes, they are. You take the precautions necessary, as we've previously covered, but every company needs that family-type event where everyone gets together, you develop both teamwork, you get to see people out of their normal situation. It's really good. And what the real benefit is, it creates those corporate memories. And I use that on the larger term, but even in small terms. When you have these kind of events, you take pictures, and then years later you look back at what a good time it was, who was part of the company at that point in time, how your company's grown, how many people were, say you started off with 15 employees and you had your party, you got all 15 plus their spouses, so you got 30 people. Well, now you're grown to 65 people. So it's a much larger picture, much broader, and shows the transition from when you were small to when you're big. And lots of happy memories come from that. And so the holiday party is just one of those ways to affect that change. But you've also got the company picnic. You can call it a Founders Day celebration whenever the founder's birthday or the day that the company was founded can be that particular type of celebration. You can commemorate winning a very large customer. The first time you got a multi-million-dollar deal, say, from customer X, and that's the thing that put your company on the map and drove the company to its success today. So you celebrate that day every year, and that's the party. That's the get-together. That's what brings everyone together to move your company forward. So no matter what the occasion, you need to make sure that all your employees are safe, and the legal concerns are important as well. Make sure that nobody gets out of line in any way, and make sure that they don't treat anyone unfairly or have any bullying. Normally, that never happens at many events, but being a good planner, you must plan for that and how to deal with it. Okay, great question, David. Really appreciate it. We'll move back now to talking our diamond mapping. We've made our big plus sign on the piece of paper. We've put the 10 hash marks in each direction. we began talking about financial independence. And financial independence is self-defined. It's what you feel you need to live out the rest of your life and no longer work. So what that means to you is up to you and your family and what your needs are and where you want to be. The next section, or next stem on the plus sign, is business success. What to you brings business success? How will you feel that you've achieved a 10 in your business success? What will that look like? Where are you today? Are you halfway to that vision? Is it owning 10 stores and you only own one now, if that's your vision? Is it owning 5 different types of company? Maybe somewhat related, maybe somewhat not. Maybe you want to have 40 apartment complexes. You know, you have none now. How are you going to get there? What is that business success going to be? Then on the opposite side of the, or on the bottom of the page, we'll put health and fitness. Clearly, that's a little bit medical, but also how you want your body to feel, how healthy you want to be, and what it's going to take you to get there. Again, a little bit personal, but you also have some medical information that's available to you that can tell you whether or not you've got additional, things to do. Are you a few pounds overweight? Is part of your goal and part of your health process going to be to lose that weight? If you're underweight, how are you going to gain that weight? Whatever the situation is, that's what you want to mark on your page. So the last but not least, and probably most important, is on the left side of the page, you're going to write family and relationships. Family is pretty straightforward. It's your family, both immediate and extended. How you feel you are with that family. Are you spending enough time? Do you have young children? Do you have older children? Who needs your time more? If everything's good, then you're in good shape. How about friends? How are your relationships with people that you work with or people that you meet on a regular basis at church, at other functions, at Rotary, at Chamber of Commerce meetings? How are those relationships, and have you formed them well? So for each factor, you have a scale of 1 to 10. Where do you see yourself with each of these factors? And now we'll look to see where you're putting those. If you're putting them below 5, then we've got some work to do. Your work-life balance may be out of whack, but we'll have to. It's something you particularly look at. Right now, we're putting down where you are in relationship to where you were possibly from last April. So let's say we'll use an example. You're financially, you've got a 6. Business success, you're at a 6. You got a 4 for health and fitness, and a 7 for family and relationships. You draw your diamond now, and you see it's a little squished to one side where you have 4 for health and fitness. Well, now you know that health and fitness is your number one area to look at and possibly focus on, because that's where you need to bring that up like the others. Now, it also doesn't, our goal is to achieve that perfect diamond, and that means you have full satisfaction in life, and that sounds a little bit ridiculous, because as we go through life, our goals change, our outlooks change, what we think when we're younger, and what our financial success may look like. That will be very much different by the time we get, say, 50, 55. That financial success is going to be different. Same with business success, health and fitness, and our family. So that's why diamond mapping is called a starting point. It tells us where you are today with the mindset that you have today and where we need to improve and how we get closer to a 10 on that mindset. But we also get to monitor how our mindset changes as we mature, learn new things, and that's what a coach does. It helps you guide and assist you to set those priorities and keep each of the these four critical areas, in balance. And keeping that balance helps both your work life and your home life. So we work on training on those areas of improvement. We teach techniques needed for that success. We do industry assessments to measure your comparative performance and set the best practice for some of the things in your company. And then we also keep focus on the actions to create what's needed to achieve those goals. Okay, we're now looking for where we're moving for 2016. Let's say we did our diamond map in April. We did it now again today. And we've made some positive changes. Maybe some are not as positive as what we had hoped, but it helps us lay out what's going to happen for next year. What area of our life do we need to bring more balance? Where do we have to drive that number up? How do we put those actions plans in place? How do we get where we need to be? That's, as I said previously, that's where the business coach comes in, or any coach. You're on the radio with me right now, so we'll coach us through that. If financial independence is your weakness, if you're living either paycheck to paycheck or you're operating off of loans off of the bank and barely getting them back and repaid in time for the next loan, then how are we going to improve that? Well, we have to get your business in a healthier situation so that you're generating more cash flow to pay those bills. How can we get that cash flow where you need it? Is it more revenue? Is it lowering expenses? Have to isolate where those are. And once we do, then we'll have that cash flow in place and you'll be able to improve your financial independence. But then we have the long-term view. Where do you want to be in the long term? Do you want to have your business in a position so that in 3 to 5 years you can sell that business and then you have your financial independence? Then we got to work out that particular plan, how we're going to drive it there, how we're going to get it so that the buyers that pay for it go for, instead of a 2 to 3 multiple, are going for a 5 to 6 multiple on your profit statement. So we got to get the profit up short term, and then long term we got to get ourselves in position to where the company can really do a good job and generate the return that you're looking for. Because many business owners have their financial independence completely wrapped up in their business. As they've built more and more equity in their business, it doesn't show up on any balance sheet, but as that equity increases, when they're planning on selling that particular business, it's time to collect on that. So you want to make sure that you balance that off and make sure that balance is there for when you're ready to sell that business. Now, there's also the opportunity for you to leverage that business and buy another business. Many business owners do this as well. You build your equity to a point where you can then have it revalued, keep that company where it is, borrow on your current company, buy another business, and increase your financial well-being doing that, and continue to do that as you grow and gain more businesses. Really a good opportunity for you, depending on the size of business, and depends on how you're balanced you are with your family time and your relationships. But as you grow those, significant improvement all the way around, and then depends on what you're calling your business success, but we can move forward with that as well and drive that up, and make you a very successful, very financially independent, and hopefully a very happy business leader. When we come back from break, we'll begin our show wrap-up and talk a little bit more, and see you on the other side of our break.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hi, it's Sawyer from the Dolphin Tale movies. Now is the perfect time to visit the world-famous Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Millions have seen us around the world, and now you can experience what we do in person. Come and reconnect with Winter and her fun-loving movie co-stars, Hope, Mavis, and yes, that crazy bird Rufus. Immerse yourself into the world of marine life rescue with the behind-the-scenes tour. Explore the film sets, and don't miss our free boating adventure. Save time in line when you buy tickets at seawinter.com. Kids only $16.95.
If you would like to become a wholesale buyer of the premium quality longevity products you hear about right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network for personal service, you can call Pete Greenway at 501-538-3160. That's Pete Greenway at 501-538-3160. And remember to tell him Lola sent you. Or you can go online at tantalkhealth.com. That's tantalkhealth.com. Here's to your health and longevity.
You may be owed some money. After 911 and 411, call 541. That's 727-541-1741. Call Gulfstream Motorsports for a diminished value report. Due to my 28 years experience in the auto salvage business, I'm very good with wrecks. So if your car's been involved in a wreck, call me for a diminished value report. Call 727-541-1741. You may be owed some money for the lost value of your repaired vehicle. And visit us at GulfstreamMotorsports.com.
Imus in the morning.
Son of a bitch. We have such an incompetent sales department at ABC in New York, they can't get the copy straight. Uh-oh. And we have that fat little freak over there at the radio station. And you talk about somebody who's a weirdo. Holy God. I mean, that boy's leather mask time there.
Easy.
Anyway, do you think he could get things straight? Of course not. And then those two dicky dopes down there in Atlanta that own Cumulus Broadcasting, they fired everybody. Oh. So you can't get anybody to do anything. There's nobody left to do anything.
Jesus.
Holy God, you got to leave somebody to do something. So I've just had it.
Yeah. Well, take tomorrow off.
That's what I'm going to do.
All right. Excellent plan. Fair enough.
You bastards deal with it yourselves.
Catch Imus in the morning right here on the stations of the Tan Talk Network. This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome back to all the business leaders that are making positive changes in their business and those that are growing and getting bigger and driving to become the business leaders of the future. You'll have a head start and recognize when to ask for help. We do this show to build our community's economic engine, and that's you, the small business owner. You're part of the Focal Point radio show on Tan Talk 1340, and I'm Gil Pinney, your Focal Point business coach. If you have any questions or comments, please give us a call, 727-441-3000. Send me that email, gilpinney@yahoo.com. We did get another email. Well, thank you, Bill, for sending that in. What Bill's question is I like the concept of using the diamond map to check my progress toward my work-life balance. Is there a benefit to having your spouse or members of your family fill it out and see what they feel about what your diamond looks like? Well, a great question, Bill. Really a good one. In other words, what he's asking is after you do your diamond map, have somebody else do the double check for you. See how they see your efforts at improving your financial independence, your business success, your health, and your family situation. Really good to have your spouse do this to get that double check. If they're way different from how you see yourself in a particular category, it's a great place to start. Opens up a good conversation between the two of you, and the same with your whole family. Your nuclear family, that is. Have them all fill it out. It's very quick, and make sure they're filling it out in respect to you and not themselves. And just get that quick check to make sure everybody's close to being on the same page. Usually within two numbers, it's pretty straightforward, and everybody sees you the same as you see you in your family. But the key is on the family and relationships, if you see yourself at an 8 and they see you at a 4, I think you're going to have a good talk with your family and your kids and find out where their direction is and what more you need to do to assist them or be part of their lives in a stronger fashion. So, yes, Bill, great question. Do that double check balance and find out where you are and get it communicated with your family. Okay, today's show, we covered some safety tips, covered a lot about the holiday parties. We talked about the diamond mapping, how to prepare yourself for 2016 with that diamond map. Lay out your personal goals, where you want to move forward in the next year. It's not too far away. We're only a couple of weeks away from launching 2016, so it's a good time to plan. If you don't have time now because of the busy season, there's the week between Christmas and New Year's. Very little business gets done, so a good time to hibernate, think about all the things you want to improve in your life, and move forward. So being armed with all this information makes you really a better leader. And as we've spoken before, athletes all have coaches. Why don't you get a coach? I provide you with an outside look at your performance that you really can't see. It's like watching yourself on videotape. Pros do it all the time. So be a pro. Contact your Focal Point business coach, which is me. You can do that by calling 727-537-9680 or give me an email, again, gilpinney@yahoo.com. Don't worry about the cost. We have programs that fit any budget. When the positive part about fitting any budget is hopefully there's never a real cost, because when we work together, we generate enough offsetting profitability to pay for my fee at least 5 to 10 times, if not 20. So you always have that. Plus, you know you're going to have a money-back guarantee if all the work we do does not yield you the benefits that you want. So if your company, though, has a larger staff that needs work with respect to teamwork or generating revenue, creating goals for your company, again, send me that information. Contact me, send me a note to gilpinney@yahoo.com, and we will make your team a more solid team and look at what you need to grow and have them participate in that growth as well. So what have you got to lose? You have no risk, and imagine how you'll feel with more and better results from your business. It's just like getting that first kiss all over again with your business. We'll talk one more time about how you can get ahead of your competition and improve your social media. Please consider joining me right here in the chair to my left or the chair to my right and be on this radio program. We'll do a 40-minute interview to highlight you and your business, and it costs less than 750 pieces of direct mail. You receive a podcast and a YouTube video link. You put that stuff on your Facebook page, your website. You boost your social media, and you and your business will gain a lot of credibility by being on the radio, explaining yourself. Your family will be proud of you. You set yourself apart from the competition. It's really a positive thing to do, and I would absolutely love to have you on the show. So give me a call, 727-537-9680, or send me that email at gilpinney@yahoo.com. Well, looking at the Christmas or holidays and what kids want this year and what the top 10 items are for children, I was a little bit amazed, but a little information goes a long way. The number one toy, according to, again, I think this is Neiman Marcus, because I took this out a few weeks ago, is the Stuffed Dragon. Now, it's a stuffed animal, basically. It's made in Germany, and it's a stuffed dragon. Must be really attractive for little girls and possibly little boys. Number 2 on their list is a really cool toy. It's an aluminum sculpture kit by a company called OWI, and it's called the Samurai Scorpion Aluminum Sculpture Kit. And you put this thing together, it's got a robot in it, so you can make the scorpion move its claws, move its tail. Really, really cool. And it's very inexpensive. It's $12.50. Really cool. And oh, by the way, if you want to buy the Stuffed Dragon, that's $99. The third fun toy that kids might get, and I think my grandchildren might get this too. It's the Hogwild Airstrike Catapult. Those are always fun. I love catapults. They shoot material. It's a toy catapult, obviously, and comes with 6 little special balls that got little bumps on the outside of them and make them look like mines. And it's only $14, so it's really kind of fun. Then there's Taquito, a board game, some more for older children over the age of 8. It looks like it may be kind of fun. It's kind of like a passport game, but anyway, that's $30. The one thing that amazed me when I was looking on Amazon, I was telling Chris this earlier, is Fuji makes an Instax mini instant camera now and film, which is like back, 20, 25 years ago. Polaroid had cameras that you shot, point and shot, and they developed instantly. Well, that's what these cameras do, only I think they develop, instead of 60 seconds, I think they're much more quick. But the reason I bring it up is I never thought that would make a comeback. That with instant, with the phones and everything, but apparently there's the tactile feeling that when you shoot that picture and get it back and you can look at it right away and hold it in your hand, there's a real benefit to that. And Fuji is making a good deal out of that because it's one of the top gifts for this year. And in that case, that camera is $75. The film's a little pricier, depends on where you buy it, but it's anywhere from $25 to $49 for 50 photos. So where else are we? We got magic kits are big this year. Looking at those, looks like every kid likes a magic kit. Everybody wants to be a magician. Those are $50 online. And one of the cool toys is for boys only. It's not really a toy, it's a book, but it's the biggest, baddest book ever for boys. And it's got rainy day crafts, it's got facts about sports, how to survive in the outdoors, things about animals, and it's about 250 pages to where it's kind of fun stuff. So we have that. And what else is on our list of things to discuss for today? We have the Yokai Watch. That is based on the Pokemon materials, and that's only $40. So if your child is into the Pokemon, that's a great way to go. There's also a real cool thing that I didn't know they made was large gummy bears, the world's largest gummy bears. They're on a stick, and they're $15.80 each. So you can go buy that candy at hopefully at a grocery store candy store, or a particular good place that you know in the mall, or try to see if you can find it online. Next week, we have a great show lined up. I plan to have Jason Avery as our guest. Jason is the owner of Avery Construction, a very, very successful construction operation here. And he's also the author of Constructing Success. So there will be much to learn and discuss. So tune in next week at the same time, Tan Talk 1340.
WTAN, Clearwater, Tampa Bay. WDCF, Dade City, Tampa Bay. WZHR, Zephyr Hills, Tampa Bay.
Stepping up assaults on ISIS, a court appearance for Bo Bergdahl. I'm Ann Cates. President Obama has visited the Pentagon today and says the U.S. will topple ISIS. Correspondent Bob Costantini.
The president talked of targeting Raqqa in Syria, where the Islamic State has declared a capital city of its caliphate and where many of its leaders are based.
Every day, we destroy as well more of ISIL's forces. Their fighting positions, bunkers, and staging areas, their heavy weapons, bomb-making